Uno más. Uno, dos, tres. I didn't come to the Camino looking for some big life-changing experience. I told myself this was a photography project. 50 rolls of black and white film, my favorite camera, and the idea that I was here to capture other people's stories. Point the lens outward, stay behind it, and just let the miles unfold. I really had no idea it was going to become one of the most meaningful journeys of my life. Finally made it here after about 3 days of traveling. I went from Salt Lake to London, stayed the night, went down to Lisbon, and then waited for a train to take to Porto. So what am I doing here? Honestly, that is what I've been asking myself ever since I got here. I didn't even know if I was going to make this film. I wanted to, but I was nervous to try. I came with 100 business cards, each one with my website on it and a place for pilgrims to go share their story of why they walked the Camino. I figured after 280 kilometers, the Camino would give me interesting faces, quiet moments, and the kind of photos you only get when you slow down, walk, and pay attention to the world around you. So here's my Camino story, told in black and white frames and the people who shaped them. Hey everybody, I am on my way up to the Cathedral in Porto to get my little passport. It's day one of the Camino, so we'll see how it goes. I went and picked up my passport from the cathedral over there, and I'm gonna head out of here in just a minute. I gotta get my stuff all packed up, gotta get all situated. This stuff, I've gotta figure out how I'm gonna pack it for the next 2 weeks, but I'm excited to take you along, excited to take photos along the way. I brought 50 rolls of film for this guy. We're gonna take lots and lots of black and white photos, so I'm excited to see what those turn out like. Got my backpack, got my shell that my daughter made for me. You put a little note on there that says, "Me and Mom love you, be safe." So I'm excited for this. The road out of Porto was not as I pictured. Busy streets, traffic, noise, and signs everywhere. It just wasn't that quiet start that I had in my mind. I'd already lost a couple days getting to Portugal, and I realized pretty fast that I needed to make up some time. So walking out of the city, I made a last-minute call. I walked straight to the busy bus station, bought a ticket, and headed to Ponte de Lima. And honestly, at first, I felt like I was cheating. But looking back, it was probably one of the best decisions I could have made. Just got dropped off. Oh, look at that awesome guy up there. And I'm headed down to the river to jump on the Camino trail. Let's see if I can find out where I need to go. I officially made it onto the Camino. This is a pretty awesome part of it too. Who doesn't like a cobblestone path with huge trees all around you? This is pretty amazing. So. All right, so this bridge was built in 1370 or something like that. When I finally started walking out of Ponte de Lima, everything slowed down. The city noise was gone, just birds, my boots, and the church bells in the distance. It was the quiet start that I know I needed. And I already can tell I'm gonna love this. So pretty. So peaceful. You just hear birds and who knows what else is out there, but it was quiet out there, really quiet. And that's when it finally hit me. I was out here on my own. Glad I bought this little super light hoodie thing, and it saved my butt. Sounds like beating down on my back. All right, my buddy Tim gave me a sticker I needed to put somewhere on my trip, and this is Ogden's sticker. Feels right at home at this place. So why don't we just put it here? Pretty cool. I didn't talk much that day. I just walked and listened. I'd actually seen 2 other pilgrims earlier that morning on the bus, but for some reason I was too shy to say much. I couldn't tell what language they were speaking, and I just smiled and looked out the window. I think I'm coming up on Labruja, so I'm hoping I can find a place to stay tonight. That's the goal. So, I don't know, maybe I should pull out the app and look, but maybe I'll just show up and see what happens. But maybe my luck's run out, who knows. After about 12 kilometers into the walk, I saw these 2 guys again, sitting on the side of the trail taking a break. We started to talk through Google Translate, trading short sentences and smiles. After a few moments, I stood up and walked off at my own pace. I didn't think of it much, but looking back, that tiny moment ended up shaping the next few days of my Camino. I'm just leaving my albergue, which is basically just like a hostel, somebody's house. These guys were awesome, really good hosts. Dinner was amazing last night. I had like some chicken and rice. And yeah, this place is really cool. We got to sit out here, look at the view, and just relax, which was awesome. I am in Labruja. My plan is to get to, I don't know where. I'll figure that out later today, but I'm gonna probably walk around 25 kilometers, whatever that is. That morning was perfect. Clear skies, cool air, and the kind of weather you'd hope for when you're facing one of the hardest climbs on the whole trip. But it was carrying something I didn't really want to face. Something small, but heavier than it should have been. Before we get too far, let's take it way back before I even got here. I spent months trying to decide what film to bring. I wanted this trip to be simple, just black and white film, Tri-X 400, and a film that has forced me to slow down and really see light and shadow. But when it came time to pack, I couldn't help myself. I threw in about 10 rolls of Kodak Ektar 100, my favorite color film, just in case. I told myself it was a backup plan. But honestly, it became a distraction. I'd be walking through this beautiful landscape, camera in hand, and instead of taking the shot, I'd freeze, stuck wondering whether I should go color or black and white. It sounds small, but it really got into my head. At one point I even thought about leaving the color film at one of those little shrines along the trail, just as an offering. And somewhere on that climb, I knew it meant something. I just didn't know what yet. So I just kept walking, hoping the answer would show up eventually. Ugh, I'm tired. Alright, I have gone this morning about 2 miles up this road already. I think it's like 6 miles to the top. I could be way wrong, but who knows. But it's super pretty out here. I think I've said that word 1,000 times, but I love it. One thing I'm super grateful for is that I bought another camera before the trip because my other one just decided to jam up. And that's kind of what I was afraid of. I accidentally dropped it right before I came, and I can usually fix it if I can take the bottom off, but I didn't want to have to do that all the time, so I'm glad I picked this up. It's been a lifesaver already, and I'm only 2 days in. Just follow the yellow arrows.
The climb was tough, straight up, hot and slow, but the view from the top totally made it worth it. I was sitting up there catching my breath. Out of the corner of my eye, a horse stepped out of the trees. It just stood there staring at me. I hurried and fumbled for my camera, but completely blew the shot. But honestly, it didn't really matter. It was the first horse of the Camino, and I didn't know it yet, but it wouldn't be the last.
This horse keeps following me. I don't know what he's doing.
That same horse wandered down the trail with me for almost 2 kilometers, as if it was leading the way. I didn't realize it yet, but every time I saw a horse after that, something shifted. A new friend would show up, a conversation would start, or just something good would happen. It became this little weird Camino superstition for me.
I met a lot of nice people today. One lady from Taiwan, she was very excited to see my film camera, and she took lots of photos of me, so we'll see how those turn out. Hopefully we'll stop and grab some lunch in a little bit.
After coming down the mountain, I ended up at a tiny cafe with a handful of other pilgrims. Just sandwiches and cold cokes, and everyone pretending they weren't as tired as they looked. I'd been carrying these cards in my bag since day one, planning to ask people for portraits, but I kept psyching myself out. So I finally stood up, walked over, and asked if I could take a few photos. To my surprise, they said yes. Then somebody else said yes. And suddenly I just wasn't walking anymore. I was actually connecting, not just passing through.
A few hours later, I heard a few voices behind me. It was the same 2 friends that I had met the day before. We walked the rest of the day together, laughing, eating, and trying to teach each other how to say the word the.
The.
Good job.
She was.
It was pretty funny. It's not every day you get to go walk over an old Roman bridge. Pretty cool.
It turned out to be a perfect day on the Camino. The first day that I finally started my little project, asking for portraits, handing out cards, and actually trying to listen to their stories.
All right, I made it to the border of Spain in Valença or Valenca, however you say it. And I am gonna stay here for the night. I'm gonna walk up to my hotel and then throw this stupid bag off my back. The only thing that hurts on my whole body are my shoulders. So bad. I don't like it. It's on the old fort, so I gotta go climb the hill up there and go take a nap.
I ended up staying in Valença that night. Just me, the fortress walls, and a cheap hotel room I grabbed off the internet. Not really the plan. All the albergues were full that night, but somehow it was exactly what I needed. A quiet pause before stepping into Spain the next morning, where everything, including the language, would feel a little bit more familiar to me.
The old fort in Valença was quiet that morning. Stone walls, empty streets, just the sounds of my boots echoing through the tunnel as I followed the yellow arrows out of town. I made it to the bridge that crosses over to Spain, so I'll be over in Spain in just a minute. Alright, I'm off to Spain. Those boats look cool down there. Spain looks awesome. Let me get a picture of that. That's pretty. I hope these turn out. I crossed the bridge out of Portugal into Spain. One step and everything felt different. New country, but same road. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm in Spain. As I get into Tui, I expect to see a whole lot of pilgrims as I get here, because this is where you can start to get your Compostela.
Ir yendo.
Hola.
Ir yendo.
Cheese, I'm here. Made it. I didn't have much of a plan. I figured I'd walk about 18 to 20 kilometers and see where I ended up. My feet, on the other hand, started to complain a little bit. The trail opened up again to gravel paths, farms, and small towns. Some gravel paths now. I'm happy. It's fun to walk through cities, but I'd rather walk in places like this. So much prettier. Not too far out of Tui, my feet started to have some hot spots, so I stopped at an old Roman bridge to check them out. I sat down, pulled off my shoes, and that's where I met some of my amazing Camino friends. We talked while I taped up my feet, and that's when I learned about Compede. That stuff is amazing. Total lifesaver. And right behind us, of course, was another horse. Horses kept finding me on this trip.
Those are the best shoes to do the Camino. If you want to choose a shoe,
hit the link in her bio.
yeah,
She'll
hit the link in my bio. I don't have like I'm not an influencer.
Later that afternoon, we crossed paths with a small group of pilgrims gathered around some horses, ones that you could rent for the Camino. That is where I met my first film photographer on the trail. I went up and asked her what camera she was using, and she mentioned she was about to run out of film. And without really even thinking, I pulled out 5 or 6 rolls of colored film and gave them to her. It was such a tiny moment, but something clicked. Letting that film go felt like I was letting go of the pressure I'd been putting on myself. The second guessing, the overthinking, and the feeling that I needed to get every shot right. After that, the Camino felt different. I wasn't chasing perfect frames anymore. I was finally present. We reached Porriño that evening completely wiped out. It's not the prettiest town on the Camino, but it didn't really matter. It felt like the right place to stop that night. It wasn't really a special night on paper, just showers, food, and grabbing whatever beds were left in the city. But looking back, it ended up being the start of my Camino crew. The people I'd end up walking with for the next 150 kilometers.
Alright, I'm just leaving Porriño. I'm heading to Redondela, I think that's what it's called. It's out probably about another 17, 18 kilometers from here.
Had my first interaction with the Spanish healthcare system, and it was actually overall pretty good. He initially was like, oh, you're foreign, you don't qualify.
Oh, really?
And I was like, wait, no, I live in Madrid and I have a private plan.
Huh.
But as far as I know, I don't have to pay anything.
What's that?
My experience, been walking for the past like 10 days. There's been a lot of beautiful scenery. I met a lot of cool people. You meet people from all over the world here.
As we headed out toward Redondela, the trail opened into hills and tiny villages, with winding turns and pockets of light that kept pulling us to stop for photos.
All right, I made it here to Moss, España. It's a cute little town. Just stopped here for lunch at La Flora.
We got the Ice Queen.
I started noticing I wasn't thinking about my feet or my film anymore. Just the walk, the people, and the rhythm of it all. That's when it clicked. This was the trip I came here for. By the time we finally dropped down into Redondela, we weren't even hungry. We had eaten at almost every bar and every cafe that we passed earlier that day.
All right, we made it to Redondela. Only took us 8 hours. Our pace was 45 minutes per mile, which is not great. We just stopped a lot, had food everywhere we stopped. And now just looking for a place to stay. To Dia grocery store to grab some food. All I grabbed was some orange juice.
But honestly, it was one of the best days of the trip. Simple, steady, and full of kind moments that make the Camino feel real. The town had this warm, welcome energy. Narrow streets, soft evening lighting, pilgrims drifting in from every direction. And as we walked into Redondela, I finally felt it. That quiet sense that I wasn't doing this alone anymore.
Today is day something. I stayed there last night at the very top, somewhere over there. Pretty nice albergue, and so got some good sleep. The bed was nice, shower was good. The trail is actually just right over there. So start from here and we'll head out as soon as I do some stretches because my legs are feeling tight.
Everyone walked at their own pace that day, and that's exactly how it should be on the Camino. No pressure, no rules, just you and the road. The climbs were steep, the views were incredible, and we met a lot of new faces along the way. Nothing fancy. Just the kind of walking that makes the hours disappear.
All right, we had a choice to take a 70-meter, 15-degree slope trail or a 350-meter, 5-degree slope trail. And I tried the 70-meter. I don't know if you can tell, but this thing is like straight uphill. Finally made it to the top.
That day on the Camino was pretty simple. Just walking, talking, and grabbing photos whenever something caught my eye.
I can hear something up ahead.
Somewhere along the trail, we heard this music drifting through the trees. As we got closer, we noticed a man playing a gaita, the Galician bagpipe. It echoed through the valley and stopped us in our tracks. To my surprise, we reached Pontevedra early, around 2 in the afternoon, tired, sunburned, and still laughing about the little moments on the trail. We were early enough to get beds in the municipal albergue. This was my first of the trip. I'd never slept in a room with 88 other people, but honestly, it wasn't that bad. Just another Camino experience. Just make sure you bring your earplugs. I wandered the city for a while. Pontevedra is one of those places I'd love to return to. Beautiful stone streets, great light, perfect for black and white film. That night at the albergue, the whole place buzzed. People sharing food, trading stories, and planning for tomorrow. And that night, the big question came up. Do we go straight to Santiago, or do we take the spiritual variant? And looking around, it was pretty wild how quickly strangers had become friends. I kind of told myself that I was out there to tell other people's stories. But the more I photographed the people I met, the more I realized their stories were shaping mine. Every face here touched my trip in a different way. And I'm grateful for every one of them.
So today I am off. I've decided to take the spiritual variant trail. Half of the group that we've been kind of walking with here and there are going the other route, so maybe we'll see them all there in Santiago.
That morning I felt the pull towards the spiritual variant. I don't know why, maybe I just didn't want this Camino to end. It felt calm heading out of town, almost like we were starting a new Camino, but with a little bit more experience behind us this time. The trail changed fast. Eucalyptus, rivers, pine forests, and the hills. They definitely made sure we earned every step.
I didn't realize these were eucalyptus trees.
I didn't know that either for a while.
I always need a scent and like perfume.
Somewhere in those first few kilometers, 3 more people joined our little Camino family. None of us planned it, it just happened naturally. The way it always happens out there.
Made it to Combara or Combaro. Oh, why am I so bad at these names? It's gonna be a hot, long day.
The climb itself was no joke, straight up. In 90-something degree heat with no switchbacks, you just went for it. All of us were thinking that same thing.
All right, what's your thought of that hill?
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Exactly what she said.
Yeah, same. Same. So what's your thought of the hill?
Super easy. Like, come on.
Ask Jenny.
Murder.
I agree with the murder part. These young kids.
Okay, maybe we weren't all on the same page.
The whole video is just gonna be me huffing and puffing for the next 2 hours. All right, just checking in. This has been quite the climb. I'm just trying to find something to shoot, but not feeling so motivated right now.
By the time we reached Armenteira, we were exhausted, but it was exactly where we needed to be. a quiet little town tucked into the hills. We went to the Pilgrims Mass that night, had a simple dinner, and went to bed really early. The Mass was beautiful and spiritual, the kind of moment that hits you right when you need it.
Just finished Mass for their pilgrims. My feet hurt so bad, but it was very nice. The prayer they gave at the very end was very touching.
The next morning, we woke up around 5:30 a.m. and headed out before the sun had fully broken through the trees. That first stretch felt unreal, like walking through some tropical rainforest, mist hanging in the air, everything glowing green. It was one of the most beautiful mornings on the Camino.
Secret portal.
Hey guys,
Such a good time.
welcome to our channel. Today we're going to take you live to, I don't know, the Camino. No?
That's better than anything I've said the whole time I'm here.
Work on it.
And who knows if my black and white film is actually going to make this place look good. But I'm trying some long exposures. Too lazy to grab my tripod. I don't know what day it is, what the date is. Barely know what time it is, but it's been nice just to get out, wander. The fun thing is I haven't even listened to any music, and just been able to just walk and listen to the birds. This has been awesome. I highly recommend doing something like this in your lifetime.
But as soon as the sun came up, everything changed. That day turned into one of the hottest days in the whole walk. It was draining, the kind of heat that makes you question every step.
Woohoo!
Yeah,
Yay! No one
you
died.
survived.
And my feet were really letting me know that they were done that day. It wasn't easy, but it felt like that kind of challenge the spiritual variant is meant to give you.
We didn't get enough parent attention.
No, it's just
We just gotta get a whole view of everything going on right.
It is in the middle of the day right now, and it is 95 degrees. And we're walking on pavement. It's so hot.
Yeah, I was in the cafe. Oh yeah.
Not happy.
It's fine.
You seem pretty exhausted.
It's hot.
I'm just chilling
I
here
know.
for 2 hours. So.
I know. Right, after 8.5 hours and 22 kilometers later, finally made it to the ocean. I just want to jump in. So hot.
The water, honestly, it felt healing. Cold, salty, perfect after one of the hardest days on the whole Camino. That night in Vilanova, we had this huge dinner, sharing tapas, telling stories, laughing until the sun went down. It felt like the Camino was pulling us all closer just as the journey was about to end. And as I sat there looking around at everyone, I realized the spiritual route didn't just give me harder climbs and better views. It gave me one last reminder of what the whole thing is about. The people you meet, the moments you share, and the parts of yourself you didn't expect to find. That morning in Vilanova, we woke up early, put our bags on, and headed down to the water.
Climbing onto that boat felt surreal. A quiet, calm pause before the final push. For an hour we drifted along the river towards Padrón, watching the landscape slide by. It was the easiest 35 kilometers of the whole Camino, and honestly some of the most peaceful. Alright, we made it to Padrón. That was the best way to travel 35 kilometers I've had in a long time. And the views were awesome. When we reached Padrón, the heat hit us fast. It was already in the 90s and we still had miles to go. We stopped in for air conditioning, grabbed a Coke and a donut, and laughed about how we had somehow survived this long without melting. Just leaving Padrón. We have 18 kilometers today. And what else are we doing today? Staying out of the heat as much as we can. It's gonna be 36 degrees Celsius, 97 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're gonna probably die, so that's okay. So we walked, hot, tired, stopped for shade whenever we could. This is the type of trail that I'm not the most fond of, where you have to kind of just go alongside the major road, but as you can see, 23 kilometers left. That's pretty crazy though. When you see 200 plus when you leave. All right, I made my first rookie mistake and ran out of water. Hopefully I can find some soon. It's almost 100 degrees. And yeah, I need a little water. Usually you can find them up here, but I haven't seen one for a bit. Wish me luck. 13.48 kilometers to go. All right, I've gone another couple kilometers, I think, and no water, but at least there is shade up here, so this will help. But as soon as I find water, I need to stop and get some. It is way too hot to not have any water. Found a little stream. I'm gonna use this. Not gonna drink it, but I am hot. But these nice ladies gave me some water over there, so that was very nice of them. Instead of pushing all the way to Santiago, we decided to stop just outside of the city. The last night was simple. Tired legs, shared food, and conversations that drift from silly stories to real ones. It felt like we were all quietly bracing for the end, holding on to what was left. All right, it is the morning of our last day, which is kind of sad. We're gonna start to head out probably like 30 minutes, but this has been a lot of fun. It's pretty crazy that it's kind of over already. Feels like it just started, but also feels like a year ago, so who knows, I don't know, but it's pretty crazy.
We left before sunrise. Everyone moved slower than usual, not from exhaustion, but from something deeper. A kind of quiet respect for what was coming. When we ran into a big group of women from Bilbao I had been photographing early on the trip, it felt like seeing old friends. We hugged, laughed, and got a couple more photos, and then we kept going. The walk into Santiago didn't feel like the others. There wasn't much talking, just footsteps, breathing, and the sound of the city waking up all around us. And as we got closer, everyone went silent. I could feel it. The processing, the emotion, the disbelief that it was somehow already over. I just tried to take it all in.
I think I went all this way thinking I would come out with some I don't know, something profound to say at the end of this. While I was walking in, I would say something I've learned over the course of the video. But I don't know. Lots of feelings for sure.
Buenos dias.
And maybe what I do is do what I've done this whole time. For 90% of the Camino. It's just walk in silence and just take it on. And not worry about what to say or what to do. Feels pretty good.
Then the streets narrowed, the echoes grew, and we finally stepped into the plaza.
No way! Hey, horses!
Big girl.
Perfect way to end the trip. We have been seeing horses the whole time, and we were wondering if we were going to see a horse today, and we did.
It surprised us all, but somehow there they were. One final Camino wink.
That's amazing.
And then the cathedral. I didn't say much walking towards it. I was trying to take it all in. All the people I'd met, all the moments I'd photographed, all the things I'd learned that I didn't even have words for yet. It felt surreal, quiet, and heavy in a good way. When I started this whole thing, I thought I was here to take photographs of other people, to help them tell their story, and I think I did, in little ways. Faces, moments, and small pieces of their Camino. I was able to collect so many beautiful stories on this walk, and hopefully one day I'll be able to share those with you. But this video ended up becoming my story. And if you've walked the Camino yourself, I hope it brings back a little bit of what you felt out there. Every person I met, every photo I took, and every small moment I shared on the trail changed me a little bit. These people shaped my Camino just as much as the miles did.
There it is. Finally made it. It's been a long, hard, fun journey, and I can't wait to do it again. Maybe don't bring 5 cameras, 50 rolls of film, and who knows what else, but leave as much at home as you can and just come and walk. That's what I suggest. It's been awesome. Met some amazing people. I'm sure we'll be friends for a long time. So, great time. I don't know what else to say. I'm just taking it all in. So. And if you're watching this because you're thinking about doing your own Camino, I hope something in my story makes you feel like maybe you could. Because you can. You don't need to be fast. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't even need to know why you're starting. Just take that first step. The Camino will meet you where you are. And who knows, it might change you in ways you've never expected. Buen Camino.